In the past few years, I have found myself quite busy. This was so much so that we thought we would do well with a house help. I haven't had a full-time house help, at least for a number of years now. And God graciously granted us a wonderful lady that was doing her work very efficiently, and I could tell now I will accomplish a lot more because I'm a homeschooling mom as well as a stay-at-home mom. I also work from home, and so my plate can be quite full. So I was very excited about that. But lo and behold, in 3 weeks, this wonderful lady that was very helpful to us had to leave. What was I going to do? In today's video, I'm sharing how you can get organized even without a house help. Now that since she left, I have not been with one, and that helped me to be even much more organized because I needed to. And then I have also not had a house help for some time now, and I want to share some of the things I have personally done in order to remain fruitful, to remain effective and productive in spite of that. Please join me. Welcome to Formations of a Noble Woman. This is a channel where we share matters womanhood and the woman seeking the mind of God concerning the same, so that you and I can align our lives to His will and purpose. And if you're new here and this is the kind of content you like, kindly consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload new content. I upload this kind of content that I trust would be a blessing for you and I as we strive on to be the women and also the wives and mothers that the Lord is making us to be. Before we continue, in case you're joining me for the first time, my name is Clara, a homeschooling, homemaking, working from home mom of 2. I am passionate about women and womanhood and all matters surrounding that, and looking at that from a biblical perspective. I pray that this video will be a blessing. So let's go back to the video. As is always our custom, we will pray and trust the Lord to grant us a fruitful time together. Indeed, that's our prayer, that Father, you grant us your help and fruitfulness and guide my sharing so that it will be a blessing to my viewers and you will be glorified as we walk together through these things that you have ministered to my heart, and you're also ministering to theirs as they seek to do your will in Jesus' name. Amen. I personally value homemaking so much so that I desire to be organized in order to be a more fruitful homemaker, providing a conducive environment for the purposes of God to thrive in my family members. That's why these things that I have worked on and I'm continuing to work on are very close to my heart. And the first thing that I have done in order to get organized, and it's interesting but it works, is to begin your day with the Lord. I have found this so fruitful that this is something I keep working on day in, day out. It's not always easy to be up and to begin your day with the Lord, but it is rewarding and it is wonderful and it works. And in case you're wondering what you should be doing in beginning your day with the Lord, I'm basically talking about taking time to pray, taking time to listen to the Lord in His Word. And in case you're wondering how to do that, I have a video on this channel where I take you through 7 steps of having an effective quiet time with the Lord. And I'm trusting that such a video would be helpful for you so that you can grow in your fellowship with God. There's a way the Lord just works on us, helping us to have our priorities right. He also works supernaturally just to help us, because many times we don't see the big picture, but He sees the big picture. That's why sometimes you may look like, it's something really coming out of my walk with God. And then when you look back in retrospect or a few months or years down the line, you will actually see that the Lord was indeed at work through the seasons of your life, because you are walking with Him, you know, as a custom, and He is working in just helping you to be organized. So that's something I would encourage you to do, something I have done, and I trust that this will be a blessing. And the second thing that is related to that, and I know I talked about it in my past video, the immediate last one, but I trust this would also be a blessing in case you're also watching this for the first time, is to begin your day early. I know there are many arguments around that, and I'm not saying that you should follow a particular pattern in terms of the time you should wake up and all that, but why not begin your day early? I have found it always helpful. Like today when I am speaking this, it's a Saturday morning, and I'm grateful for the things that the Lord has helped me to do. Begin my day with Him, journal, have my Bible reading, read a book, go for exercise, come back, do some footage for our other channel, Recipes and Hospitality with Clara, just a short clip I needed to do, and then come and worked on this video and sat here. So you can see, you find that, and I can tell you, being a Saturday, of course, one of my daughters, I can hear her now waking up, but you can imagine you don't have a lot of disturbance and noise. And of course I'll share another point of why also those early morning hours are very helpful. But just starting your day early is wonderful. Could be 6, could be 5:30. Personally, because we work with my husband, I have decided to work with 4. Some of us will work with 5. You know, whatever time you choose, I pray that you'll find yourself accomplishing a lot more, because you just begin your day rolling on that note of doing a lot more, so that you find eventually your day then becomes organized. The third thing I would say is, please minimize on social media. Being in a world of social media with a lot happening with all the media platforms that I'm sure you know, you can tell that you can find yourself spending a lot of time. I have found even homemakers finding themselves just watching video after video, you know, and you find that that keeps you kind of inactive, so that you can find a whole 30 minutes gone when you could have sat down perhaps to even iron or to sort the kitchen. And I have found it very helpful personally not to even have my media on until I have finished my devotion, I have listened to my chapters, and then now I listen as I prepare breakfast. I listen to something that would be a blessing to me, that would enrich my spirit, or something that would help me to learn a skill that I am working on, but I do it as I work. So you want to minimize on social media, and especially the kind that will cause you to just stay and stare and do practically nothing, basically, because you know, you're not making use of your time. So try and minimize it. Remove the notifications if it's necessary during the day, or whatever it is that you can work on in order just to reduce that. I have found that very helpful. I tend to accomplish a lot more when I am not on social media all the time. This one is the one I was talking about earlier. If you can make use of the hours when your children are asleep to do things that you know would be helpful, and you need your concentration. Like personally, like I said, I work from home, and one of the things I will do is write. One of the things I will do is work on content, and some of the things I will, you know, the things that I know will need a lot of my concentration. I remember a book that I used to write when I would wake up early, and just 1 hour I would take it for writing that book every day, and I ended up finishing the book. You know, so you find that the things that need a lot of your concentration, why don't you work on them early? Why don't you work on them when the children have retired to bed? Like I was saying in the previous video, these days I am working so hard to try and keep my kitchen sorted before I sleep, to take care of the morning. So when I have done that, I would tend to do activities that will not engage me so much. I still do my own editing. I would try to do it that time. I would try to look a bit on follow up on messages that I needed to write that I haven't written or responded to on social media, or an email or whatever. You know, those relaxing activities that don't take up a lot of your time, so you will find you are much more organized as you do that. The next one is, why not engage your household in helping you in some of the duties, especially children? Why don't you allocate them child appropriate activities. This has been so helpful. Of course, I know my children are now older, so it's easier for that to happen, but I remember from the time they were young, there are certain things they could do for themselves, like my daughter cleaning the sink in the sitting room was one of her responsibilities, something that she could do at her age, and washing dishes, whether with your husband, with your children, just working in a way that they can help you relieve the burden of the chores, and just focusing on the chores that you must do, especially during the weekdays, so that over the weekends then you can do that thorough cleaning and all that. I personally have worked with that. I find my daughters, after they've done their chores, one has to sweep and take care of the dining room area because it's smaller, it's a younger one, and then the living room or sitting room area, one of our daughters will take care of that together with her chores. They are the ones who will do the dishes before we go to sleep this season, and such, as I sort also the other sides of the kitchen and all that. So you can see when they help you, that helps a lot. My husband thankfully works most of the hours around here before he leaves, and so he will help with the dishes over lunch hour. So you find you are relieved a lot when you can engage your household. It takes a lot of time to train children. I have shared a video here and I'll link it in the description of how I was teaching my children to clean their bathroom, and I'm grateful when you go to their bathroom now, it is sorted, because as much as it was difficult to train them then, it works later on. So that's something you would also want to try, so that in the morning they wake up, they know what they should do, and they go ahead and do it. I have to repeat this as much as I talked about it in the previous video, is to get organized. I have found meal prepping, meal planning very helpful, and I don't know, I just have to still emphasize it. Even if you don't have a lot of freezer space, there are ways that the Lord can help you to just meal prep, so that you can have you can be able to manage your house in a better way. I know most of those who watch this channel may have some sort of space, so that even if you take Sunday as the day, you just try to meal prep some of the meals of the week to make it easier for you. Personally, for me, the matter of food is a big one. When I'm not organized and I'm told guests are coming, I feel very harassed and anxious and wondering, when will I go to the market to buy this? I don't have 1, 2, 3. But when I know I have food sorted, like my husband was telling me a guest is coming to see me today, I just feel relaxed, because I know in that area I am sorted. Others will prefer to do their meal preps this evening, when I'm talking about, so eat supper early, sort the kitchen, and just meal prep for the next day, sorry. So even when I don't have a fridge, because maybe there could be one of us or two who don't have, why not prep the previous night, so that the day can be sorted? And the other thing I have worked with is just making enough supper, in order to cover lunch, so that most of the time we never cook, we just warm food over lunch hour. Most of the time, if I must cook, it has to be spaghetti and eggs. That's one of our menus at lunch hour, because it will take me about 20 to 30 minutes to prepare that without a struggle. So meal planning will help you. Just work with your menu, see how you can tweak recipes around, so that you have recipes that are heavier on days that like weekends you can handle, and simpler recipes on certain days. Others, like groundnuts, that you can make way long before and just store in an airtight container. So that has sorted me big time, especially now when I have to manage the household myself. And the other one, again, that I have to repeat, and I'm glad I've brought them last, because I talked about them in this previous video. In case you missed it, I will link it below. Habits of a Homemaker. But the next one is just working with a schedule. This is something I learned some time back, and I work with a schedule. I think this sorts me big time, so that I can focus. I can do my to-do list as well, and just go ticking it off, as I know I have scheduled schoolwork for this time now that I'm a homeschooling mom. I have scheduled cooking for this time, which includes also supper. I do it in blocks personally. I have scheduled what I do in terms of writing and ministry at this time, so that I am able to work with those blocks. I don't always keep to the times I have put in there, but scheduling has been such a guide to help me to accomplish a lot more. Like I have said, writing books, still developing sessions, or others have called it a course or a training to minister to women, and the things that the Lord has helped me to do. I just find a schedule helps me, and then when I come up with my to-do list, then I'm able to be more fruitful as the Lord helps me. So I pray this will also be helpful for you as you reflect on the same. And the final one is just to schedule certain activities on certain days. I don't have to repeat this because I've talked about it in one of the points, and I think my perfectionistic nature used to cause me to do this. You find you are you're kind of almost thorough cleaning almost on a daily basis, but why don't you just schedule? I will work on toilets, I will work on the floor on this day. I will work, so that way you find you are more fruitful. So I pray that these points are helpful to you as you reflect on that and trust the Lord to be a more fruitful, productive homemaker, and so that you can also enjoy your homemaking as you go along. I enjoy homemaking, and my desire is to see women enjoy as well, and I pray that you too will enjoy your journey of homemaking. So check out the video that I talked about that I pray would be a blessing to you. I will link it right here on how to have a fruitful, quiet time. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Look out for our next video that I trust will be a blessing as well. And until then, have a blessed week. See you in our next video. Bye.